Hi there, welcome to another Snapshot video. This is Belmathuin, and oh my god, they have outdone themselves this time. I don't know if these new blocks are going to have functionality. They don't in this snapshot. I imagine they will though. And we're going to take a quick look at these. Alright, so first off we have this barrel. Looks amazing. I mean, it's still square, which keeps it in the Minecraft theme, but you can see the you can see the little tap. It's directional, kind of like a log. It lays down just like a log, kinda. And that's a nice block. I mean, we can really do something with that. Let's see. Maybe a wall of these would even look good. Yeah, I could see us using that for something. Maybe a foundation along the bottom of a house. Something like that. Yeah, definitely. I mean, even if it doesn't become functional. Let's see if we can... No. I guess that doesn't work. Alright. Maybe long-term storage for potions. That'd be cool. If you could make a batch of like 64 potions, stick them in there, and just come up to it and click it with a bottle to grab a potion. That way you wouldn't have. That way, if you wanted to like stockpile potion, you wouldn't have to have like an entire chest for 54 potions. You just have one barrel. That would be amazing. And this one is the smoker. Now. You can't. Let me go. You can't right click on it, so they must not have finished the GUI inside yet. But our regular furnaces work a little bit like that. You can put a hopper going into the back with coal, hopper going into the top or the sides with meat or cobblestone or iron ore or whatever. And a hopper coming out the bottom to stick them into a chest. I'm curious if it does that here. So let's stick a chest there. Hopper, hopper, hopper. And let's see what it does. Well, they are going in. Those are draining in, and it lit up. That's a really nice animation too. I like that. It did cook the meat, so it must have some sort of functionality, but it doesn't seem like the GUI is quite finished yet. This one, Blast Furnace. Now, any of you that have played modded, the Blast Furnace is like a Tinker's Construct thing, or there's a version of it in IC2. There's a version of it in a bunch of different mods. Thermal Foundations. And it usually is for ores. So I'm taking a wild guess that if I do a little search for, let's see, iron. Let's grab some iron ore. And we'll try the same thing. By the way, the block looks amazing. That could be used as a building block too. And it is directional apparently. Yeah, these could be used as building blocks to some extent, as long as they're not too expensive. Alright, let's fill that thing up. It was draining. And those are draining. Nice, nice. Ooh, I like that. That does look like a stoked furnace. And it's melting the iron. I would have to wait for them all to cook to try meat in there. Alright, and then over here, we have the cartography table. Oh my god. Now, we showed off the loom in the last video. In the loom, let me grab one. Now in the Loom, you have a GUI. You can put a banner there. You can paint it. Actually, I might as well. Let's grab one that's easy to see, and then we will grab. Dye should be down. Yep, there we go. We'll go blue, or no. That's blue now. So in the Loom, the GUI allows you to choose the color instead of having to go through remembering where to lay out your dyes and everything else for the banners like it used to be. So I'm hoping that this means the cartography table is going to do something very similar for our map making. Because I can never remember how to make, like I can remember how to make a map, but I can't remember how to enlarge it and half scale it and all that other stuff without having to look it up every time I do it, because it's usually been a minute between times that I do it. So if this table was something that you could use to resize maps and copy maps, stuff like that, that could be amazing. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to finding out if that's the case for this block. I think it might be. This one is the Fletching Table. I don't know, maybe they're gonna have like crossbow bolts and arrows, or maybe this is where we'll assemble new kinds of arrows. Maybe it'll be required for doing the crossbow. I don't know. It does not have a GUI yet. I'm clicking and nothing's happening. But I'm just guessing that they haven't actually finished the GUIs for any of these yet. But I'm guessing that there will be GUIs. Or maybe it's just a crafting table that offers you a variation. Because, let's see. We'll take some spruce planks. I mean, you can build that into a wall and it's kind of like a shield and an arrow, or like an archery target and an arrow. And on this side there's a bow and an arrow. So you could use these kind of like as a weapon rack or a weapon plaque on the wall, just as decoration. Probably the same thing with this smithing table. I don't know if it's going to have its own functionality or if it's just a cool looking crafting table. But hammer in a little pouch of, I don't know, iron filings or something, ball bearings. There's some chisels. Yeah, you could use that as decoration. Actually, yeah, they're even slightly different. Kind of have like a workbench with multiple things. Yeah, I mean, there's some possibilities with that as decoration block and as a crafting table. And then we have the Grindstone. Not entirely sure what they're going to do with this one. Maybe it could be used to repair items. Like maybe the GUI will have a place to stick your sword and a place to stick some iron or some stone. And then, or maybe even some water to turn it into a whetstone. I don't know. But I imagine that that'll spin around. It can be placed in either direction. It can be placed on the sides. It can be placed underneath blocks. It's really nice. I don't know, maybe that's going to replace the enchantment table or be an augment for the crafting table. I don't know. The Stonecutter. Now, I don't know what it's going to do. And it doesn't have a GUI. Actually, I'm kind of curious. The other two didn't either. I guess we don't even need a chest, do we? We'll just go like that. Let's try this. There. Let's grab some stone. Actually, we'll grab 64 stone. Let's grab... I don't know what else it would need. Maybe coal? Does it take coal? No. Does it take stone? No. How about the top? No, that doesn't appear to accept anything. Okay. But I don't know, maybe they're going to offer us, you know, like more chiseled designs. And maybe you'd have to use this to get those chiseled designs. I imagine if they did that, there'd be some way to run it through a hopper. But apparently that hasn't been added. Well, if it ever is going to be added. And we have the bell. I imagine all of these are going to be for because of the village and pillage update, with them updating the villager skins and the villager jobs. Maybe these are only decoration blocks to be placed in the village to, you know, depending on the job of whoever lives in the house. Maybe that's all they are. But those seem to actually function, unless they're just decorative furnaces, which is another possibility. But it's still nice to have the variety. But the bell, I imagine, is maybe a warning. Like maybe the bell gets rung when the illagers and pillagers come to raid. It's a possibility. I guess we'll use the ore. Let's see. Let's see if you can hang this. You can, and it even does away with the legs. That's really nice. I can see some definite functionality or decoration with this. And I imagine that that would be something the villagers see the illagers or the pillagers and the pillager beast coming. Maybe they ring the bell and everybody runs into their houses. I imagine it's gotta be something like that. And I suppose, last but not least, we have the lectern. Now they did introduce this, I believe, at Minecon Earth. And they did confirm that you'll be able to write a book. Let's see. Book and quill. Put some random text in there. Sign it. Sign. It didn't close. Yeah, so I'm unable to click on it, even shift clicking. So I'm unable to actually put it in now. Actually, let's try the hopper approach. Yeah, nothing. But you're going to be able to, according to Minecon Earth, put a written book here and players will be able to walk up and click on it and read the book without having to pick the book up, which will be great for all the mini games and all the instructions and all that people leave around. Instead of leaving a book in an item frame, you'll be able to just stick it on a lectern, and nobody will have to punch it off the item frame, and nobody will have to remember to put it back on the item frame. You'll just be able to stick it on the lectern, and it is a nice looking block. Very nice looking block, actually. See a couple books down there, a little bit of a, I'm not sure what to call that, streamer maybe. But yeah, that's gonna be a nice looking block. It's gonna be a nice functional block. And apparently, according to a couple of tweets from Ditterbone, it's going to have some redstone functionality. Now I doubt that. Yeah, it's not in it yet. But I imagine that you'll be able to take a comparator or an observer or something and read a redstone pulse out of it. It is in the redstone tab, so the tweet kind of makes sense if they're saying in a tweet that it has some sort of redstone functionality and it's in the redstone tab, then it must be. There were some texture changes as well. I'm not going to go through all of them this time around, but they did do a significant change to the cactus, and I gotta say, I kind of like it. It looks prickly. And that's a nice looking block. I like the light green. I like the textured light green color in there, as well as the stripes. It to me looks like a cactus. So I'm super excited about all these, even if they only wind up being like decoration blocks. Because, well, we know that one's gonna at least serve some function. I imagine the bell's gonna have a ringing sound that maybe a redstone pulse would activate. And these, we know they at least function a lot like a furnace. I don't know if they'll have a specific function of their own, but even if they only function like a furnace, it still gives us options for our cookers. And I mean, let's admit it, they look better than the ones that we've been using for years. They look awesome. And I really, really want this cartography table to do a similar function to the Loom, where it just makes map making easier. Stick a map in there, add some paper to enlarge it, or hit a button to scale it down. Something. That would just be amazing. And I forgot to mention, in the last snapshot, pandas weren't spawning in the wild in these big bamboo jungles. But now, apparently they are. Let me see you. Ooh, you're angry. Why are you so angry? You got all this beautiful real estate all to yourself. Or is that the problem? You want some food? We'll get you some bamboo. Are you angry because you're hungry? Or are you angry because you're lonely? Here. There you go. Is that better? Is it? Stop being angry. Ungrateful. But anyway, this has been Belmathuin. Hope you learned something. If I missed anything, please let me know down in the comments. And be sure to check out my other series. I've got a little bit of an ARC series, and I have a pretty intense Minecraft single-player survival series. You should definitely check that out. We just got done making a small, lag-friendly single-player Guardian farm. And we got a bunch of other stuff going on, including a huge mansion that looks amazing. But, I guess until then, hope everyone has a good night.